I'm often asked how Rivendell got started, and Rivendell is really my story. I created a 12-credit-hour biblical worldview curriculum, and I was in my third year of teaching this curriculum that I felt called by God to study popular culture. I was an average student, struggled with learning, but a lot of it was because I always had the ability. But I was bored, I was uninspired. Nobody had really given me a reason to learn. It's my story that perhaps may make me most qualified, because I think my story mirrors a lot of today's student body. And so I set out to study popular culture to understand my students, why they think the way they do. But as I was doing that, I felt the spotlight come back on me. There were 3 events that took place. I'll just explain one of them that had a great impact on my life. I was watching Extreme Makeover Home Edition, and it was centered around a lady by the name of Sweet Alice Harris. She's from the inner cities of Watts, California, hardly any money, Christian lady. It was a story of self-sacrifice, and what she did for her community really impacted me. I knew I had to ask myself a question, and the question was, can you live that way? The answer I had to give was no, which of course led to the more difficult question, the follow-up question, which was why not?
Rivendell Sanctuary is reintroducing an ancient form of education, and that's in the area of apprenticeship.
We're not just teaching them what to think, we're teaching them how to think.
We are located in Bloomington, Minnesota. We have a full, beautiful college campus. We have an exciting study abroad component where the fine arts are studied for 6 weeks in Florence, Venice, and Rome. What better place to study the fine arts than in Italy?
There's something to be said for the lack of young people's ability to interact socially. That is, so much of getting a job and being able to function within the workplace and within society is people skills.
When we launched Rivendell, one of the things that we were focusing on was what makes a person successful. I had the privilege of being president and CEO of a major corporation. Many people have asked me over the years, what kind of people do you want to hire? In other words, who am I looking for in an employee? We're looking for people that are not just skill trained. I can teach you the skill, but I can't teach you the people skills. So getting those people skills are absolutely vital to be successful.
Critical thinking involves questioning, and so we teach our students to actually ask questions of the documents that they engage, or the movies that they watch, or the music that they listen to.
We hear it all the time from someone who wants to study psychology. Why do I have to study math? Why do I have to study the fine arts? Until you can see all of these different disciplines within the bigger picture of the biblical worldview and the biblical narrative, well, then you really don't understand God's bigger picture.
In talking with Rivendell students, I've discovered that a lot of kids today are bored, and I think they're bored because they don't have any motivation to learn.
We plan to weave these people skills into our entire program of relational skills. This will be very academic, but it'll also be dealing with the practical things that equip you for the foundations necessary to be successful.
We can show you how all of these subjects that before may have seemed really disconnected and disjointed, after you get a Rivendell education, you're going to see how they all fit into the bigger picture.
So we have 5 disciplines we virtually do every day within our students. We have 1, a rigorous academic pursuit, which is loving God with our mind. 2, spiritual formation, which is loving God, heart and soul. 3, holy and healthy living, which is loving God with our strength and our body. 4, we have community service, which is loving our neighbor. And we added a 5th one today that we think is important, and it's life skills, loving others through manners, etiquette, and respect.
I think young people today, as far as education goes, are really excited about anything that's outside of the box. I think a lot of kids are bored, they're tired of the status quo, and a lot of kids want to do something that's kind of radical and something new. And that's what we're doing, is we're pushing the envelope on education now. We think it's time to do it, and I think students will be excited to get in on the ground floor of something brand new.
I saw a news article not long ago where Ivy League schools were challenged by business, saying your graduates do not have the skills necessary to even take someone to dinner.
What we're about at Rivendell Sanctuary is equipping students not only to be exceptional learners, but also to be exceptional livers.
We'll have things like formal dinners where we will have a formal table setting, learn how to eat properly with the proper utensils, and we'll dress up for the evening and we'll go to an opera or symphony. All of these things build into a culture.
Rivendell Sanctuary is specifically designed to fulfill all the requirements of an Associate of Arts degree. So all of your generals to complete your Associate of Arts degree are done in 18 months with Rivendell.
Our learning is set up so it's going to be very experiential. The classroom is set up for dialogue, for discussion, and Socratic method, because we want learning to be as hands-on, if you will, as we can.
The learning really goes on well after they've left Rivendell. That's our goal. We want to produce lifelong learners.
We have assembled an amazing group of people here at Rivendell Sanctuary. God has brought them in from all corners with all different types of skills and talents. And they are committed, really committed, to young people and changing their lives and having them serve the Lord in all areas of society.
And we also are trying to prepare our students for graduate school after they leave us, because we're sort of a bridge between high school and college and graduate school.
I firmly believe that if you will share your young person with us for 18 months, I really believe we can make a pledge to you that their lives will be transformed forever.
And I think it's best expressed today. The end goal today has become, we all have seen the famous bumper sticker, "My child is an honor student." And that's become the end goal today. And that's a fundamental shift from our founding fathers. What they had in mind was not so much to produce an honor student, but rather a student of honor.
We are committed to building students of honor.
A CEO of honor, a politician of honor.
Mothers and fathers of honor.
By looking at Christ as the greatest professor who ever lived, essentially what we're doing is we're looking at his model, what he did with his disciples, and we want to emulate that. Christ's students never changed classes, classmates, or professors. They were together as a group of 12 for 3 years, and they had one teacher.
So what we want to do here at Rivendell Sanctuary is give our students a skill that they will be able to take beyond the classroom. And in fact, much of our learning takes place beyond the walls, the four walls of a classroom, out in the real world.
Thank you very much for your interest in Rivendell Sanctuary. But more importantly, I'm asking you to join us in the battle to take back education in America. This is vital, ladies and gentlemen. It is absolutely vital.
At Rivendell, you get the opportunity to ask and answer the biggest questions that humanity's ever encountered with the best minds the Western tradition has ever produced, all in the context of the greatest story ever told, the Bible.